Yeah, everyone, welcome back to SD Alvin channel. I hope everyone doing well, good, and safe. So, last we already discussed about the point what is OSPF and how the OSPF area is working for the single area as well as multiple area. So, in this session, we'll talk about the first of redundancy protocol. That means there are some host and routing, that is HSRP, virtual router redundancy protocol, and gateway load balancing protocol. We'll see the difference in the next video, but we'll focus on why we need this type of the protocol and why it's needed. So let's take example. If I have the router, this is my switch, and there are multiple user connected, and there are connected with the ISP which I have. It doesn't matter Tata, Airtel or something. And if in case I have one ISP and the users is continuously working on this, what will happen if in case this ISP is going to down? Then entire network will be going to be down. There are no redundancy. That means there is a no backup we have, and that's what the protocol we are using, that is HSRP, VRRP, and JLBP. So in this case, what will happen? We'll get one more ISP, that is ISP2, and this is connected to that router. If in case this is going to be down, this will going to be up, or simultaneously we can both gateway we can kept as a app. So that is the redundancy. That means if in case my network is going to down, secondary router or which is router, how many router I have, how many path I have, so they can take the ownership to send and receive the packet. So that is the overall concept of the redundancy protocol. That means there is a no downtime for in the networks. That's what we are using this protocol. So let's move on. The first will be focusing on the first host and routing protocol. That means it is a Cisco proprietary. This is not open source. It is high availability in the sense, if in case primary is going to down, secondary is taking the ownership to send the traffic or what are the path they have. Default priority value is 100, and the priority range is defined 1 to 25. So depend upon the priority, it is defined on which will be going to active, which will be going to be standby. So that is the things. They are using the UDP port number, that is UDP port number 1985. There are two versions, HSRP1 and HSRP2. So there is only one difference, the group restriction. So I'll be explaining into next slide. And this is the multicast address they are using for version 1, that is 224.0.0.2 and 224.0.0.2 in version 2, that is HSRP version 2, and it is supportable for IPv4 as well as IPv6. Let's discuss about some timer, that is hello. By default timer is 3 seconds and hold time is 10 seconds. You can change it as per your requirement. So that is the things will be here. And the next is virtual IP. We need to be defined why we need virtual IP and default gateway. I will explain in. And the virtual MAC address, that is, first 16 digit or first 24 digit is automatically by Cisco, and the next 8, what are the group we have, that is defined into the hexadecimal. So that is the virtual MAC address. And as I have mentioned, the one difference, the multicast address is 24.0.2, but one restriction in version 1, we can use group number only 0 to 255. If you are using the version 2, you will get different multicast address 224.0.0.102, and group range increases to 0 to 4095. So there is a one difference only, the group restriction version 1 is 0 to 255, and if in and we have into the 0 to 4095 in HSRP version 2. and it is prim that is defining on which gateway is active or which gateway will be going to be standby. So that is the main concept we have. So let's come. I have already created one topology. Let me take this one. Okay. Uh, I have created this topology, and let's focus on this some point. Let's understand why we need HSRP and how it is working. Now, in this scenario, let's take example. I have two routes, one routes, two routes to reach the destination, right? And let's take example. This is my office or this is my internet that we are using for this one, and this is my users. They are sitting in the office, and for the reaching this destination, I have two parts. That means router, and this router. In HSRP, there are only one things. It can be active one route or one path, one router can be active at a single time. That means if its router is active, this should be going to be standby. If in case it is going to be down, it will secondary router will going to up, and that process will start. Then what will happen if primary is going to be up, then secondary again going to be standby. So depend upon the priority value will define who is going to be send the packet and who is going to be a standby mode. Let's take example, and you can define if in case if you are using a static route or default routing, so you can define the first what are the basic topology, basic IP addressing we have. So the first things, one router, one path can be active, one in active state, other is standby state. If in case primary is going to be down, secondary will take the authority to send and receive the packet. And if case secondary is like primary is came off, then primary is taking the, because this is we are defining all the things through the priority value. So that is the overall HSRP. It can be active, only one active, and it is the main things. It is a Cisco proprietary router or Cisco proprietary protocol. Okay, so I already configure my IP addressing. It is very simple configuration only. Yeah, one more thing I missed to add. One more thing. That means now how this PC know which one is active or which one is non-active, because in PC you can configure only one gateway. Either you can configure 1.0, either you can configure this route, but this is not possible because we want to be redundancy. If in case something is going to be down secondary, or I want to be like there is no downtime into the my office, so will be concept is coming virtual IP. I'll be creating virtual IP for the both, and this virtual IP I will be assigning to the gateway this PC. If in case is going to be down, there is no effect on this users traffic either coming this way or either coming this way. So that is the overall concept we have in HSRP, that is virtual gateway we need to be focus on. So let's come on the topology and let's start where we have this one. Okay, I already configure the IP address, so I'll be coming here and I'll be mentioning these things here, what I have configured. Okay, so I have configured the port 0/01, that is my gateway, 1.1.1/8, and the another one is 1.0. So similar way we can cross verify the other router as well. If you are going to be here, you can see the IP address, that is 0/0 0/1, that is way already. And let's take example, this is my internet routes. I don't have the real internet, so I'll be using this one, and the switch we'll be using, and that is overall topology. Now in this scenario there are two things: either you can use any dynamic protocol, or you can use the any static route, because if you are using the static route of this one, you should have defined this reachability of this network and this path. So there are two static route for this network, 1.0 network. You can define. We already know about the static route. What is the our static route? Network, subnet mask, and next hop count, what we have. So that is the basically the routes we are defining here. Then let's focus on this topology and let's start the our configuration. There are simple way will be going to be defined. Okay. Now three steps we need to be follow: configuration IP, that I already done. Then default route if you want, but I want to be use any dynamic protocol, so I'll be using HSRP, router HSRP. Let's take 20. What is the network, what way network I have? So we already learned this HRV, and what are the network? That is 1.1.1 slash. Similar way you can do for into the router 2 as well. If you don't want to use any dynamic protocol, you can configure the routes manually, that is default as well as static. So I'll be using any dynamic protocol. I have choose this HRP, and you can see the neighborship is maintained topology, or what are the best route they have, they will be going to be defined. And I don't have the real internet, so I'll be taking this, considering this as my SP router. And what are the network we have? Let's maintain. And you can see the neighborships already started the in between two networks. So yes, so I have used these two router, and I have used the dynamic. If you are not using any dynamic protocol, then you can configure a route for this one. For this, you can use default routing. For if you are using the this router, you can configure the static route to reach out this 1.0 network, and the next outcome will be 2.2.2.2, and for this route it is 1.1.1. And if you are using the default route, that you can use 0.0.0.0, 0.0.0, and that means if you're using this router, you can configure IP routes. I have already used the this one. So 0.0.0, 0.0.0, and for reachability of this network, I'll be using this gateway 1.1.1. And similar way, you can configure for this router 2 as well, and you can configure this. So I already configure EHRB, so I don't want this one. So let's focus on this HSRP, right? Now, what is my first command? I'll be using standby command. Let's question mark. Okay, here I can use version 2. What is I can use the any group number. Let's make 12, and I need to be mentioned IPs. My what is my virtual IP here? In topology, which virtual IP I'll be using? 1.50. So you can go here 192.168.1.150, and this is done. The second step, you need to be configure name. If you want to give, you can give, and the main thing is priority value. So by default it is 100. So you can use standby. What is your group ID? If you want to give name, you can give HSRP test, whatever the you have. Okay. Then you can define priority value. Let's take question mark. It is you can define priority value between 0 to 255. By default is 100. 0 means it's one low and 24 is one. So I will make this one is 100, and rate. So it will define which one is active, which one is not active. It's completed. Similar way, you can go router 2. Both side configuration group should be same, and virtual IP should be same. So we have already mentioned in topology 1.50, right? Oh, sorry. Uh, which should be defined first. Okay, 12, 150. You can give the name, or else you can give the where we priority value. I'll let my case 1110, and okay, you can see this router priority values we have kept as a 1110. That means this router having the uh, like standby mode, and which one is less, it will take the authority to send the packet first. So that is the overall simple configuration we have. That means if it is going to be a packet or here, this path, this router will take the R1 router will take the authority, R2 will be going to standby. If in case R2 is going to be down in some case or physical damage or any configuration issues, then R2 will take the authority. If in case you have the three router here, router 3, router 4, router 5, similar way you can configure, but the same virtual gateway IP that we are using, and it they can communicate only virtual gateway for this HSRP. So in basically in HSRP is depend upon the what are the priority value. By default is 100, and depend upon the priority value it will take the authorities who is going to send the router first, and will be going to be standby. That is the overall HSRP. That's it from this HSRP. If in case there is some question for for this multicast address, as well as what is the group value for HSRP version 1, that is 02255, HSRP version is 024095, you can define it. If you are getting some knowledge from this video, please like and subscribe my YouTube channel. Thank you. Thank you all.